So thank you very much for the opportunity, and thank you very much for joining us at the Abo Wind booth. I'm welcoming you here. As the name reveals, we are actually a project developer for wind projects. But as you can see, we also have the storage and solar systems within our company right now. So we are joining forces and doing one department that is just looking at storage solutions in combination with wind and solar. This is what we call a hybrid system. And I want to use the next 10 minutes to tell you a little bit more about what we define as a hybrid system. I'm going to give you an example of one of our customers, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit more about our expertise and why we are the right partner for such projects. But before we start, I just want to get a feeling for the audience. So what is your motivation to join this tour? And therefore I would ask 3 questions, and you can just raise your hands because I can't ask all of you because I have to keep the 10 minutes, right? So, okay, first question. Who of you needs reliable energy but has not always access to it? Just raise your hands if you have this problem. Okay, that's very good, very good. So, who of you wants to integrate renewable energy in their system? Okay, a little bit more, perfect. And who of you does see rising electricity prices or energy prices right now? Perfect, okay. So, exactly for these cases, we have the right solution because we deliver you a hybrid system that is not only technically feasible, but also economically evaluated and modeled. And for this, just let me rephrase what we mean as a hybrid system. We always start with a renewable system. We start with solar and wind. And then we look at how much of your demand we can already cover with these sources. So either or and wind. And for this, we also look at battery storage solutions. Because as you know, if you can store your energy and you're at a remote place, then you can actually use that energy at a different time in the day. For example, your PV power. And most of the time we see projects where we replace systems that are based on diesel gensets. So we're actually trying to reduce the influence of a CO2 emitting source. Okay, so this is what we see as a hybrid system. And just let me give you one example, one concrete example of one of our customers. There's a tea factory in Uganda that we were looking at. They had outages that meant 2.5 months per year of no production. They had huge losses for their business case. So they asked us, what can we do? Can you give us a solution for this? And for that, let me see, so basically this is the Uganda tea factory, yeah? The power plant is far away. You have almost no energy coming here to the tea factory. Okay? They have a diesel genset, but it's really annoying because you have to maintain it. You don't get the fuel there. It's very pricey. So we said, okay, why not put a battery and a PV plant here and support your energy demand? This is exactly what we did. But for sizing this system, we also measured their demand. So we installed a smart meter so that we get reliable information about their consumption. Because only then we can size the whole system appropriately. And for this, we also look at what are they planning to produce in 10 years, in 20 years? Are they going to expand? Because this will also be important for the sizing of the battery. And for this, we look at the LCOE, the levelized cost of energy or electricity, to produce this electricity for the company. Okay, so basically, if you have a company or anywhere where you don't have access to a reliable source, we have a solution for this. Our solution is always based on renewable energies so that we can reduce the CO2 emission. And why are we the best one to work with for your project? It's very easy because we have 20 years of experience with project development in large scale, with wind farms around the globe, so internationally. And this experience we use with our planning department, with our electrical department, with our legal department, and not, or most important, also our financing department. So we also know how to finance your project. And at the end, we also have departments that are responsible for the execution at the end. So we have civil engineers knowing how to put everything in place. And now I would like to take your questions, but give you also the opportunity. We are here at the booth with 3 colleagues of the hybrid systems and also with the solar department. So just come around even after the tour and join us and talk in depth with us about your problem so that we can help you with our experience. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Julia Badede, for this intro. I think great that you achieved the 5 minutes. So we have still approximately 5 minutes left for questions, and I will give it directly to you. Does anybody have a question want to resolve? Yep.
What is the mean cost of the energy production when you relate the batteries and the solar panels? What is the mean cost in terms of US dollars by megawatts hour?
Do you mean the energy price for the production, or do you mean the investment? Okay, so you're talking about the levelized cost of energy. It really depends on your profile. It really depends on how many cycles you do with the battery in a year, because this will define how much each cycle is costing. So you can look it up at, I think it's Bloomberg, who analyzed different cases for battery utilization. So if you have some kind of 200 to 300 cycles a year, then you can come around 18 cents with a battery storage system. The more cycles you have, the lower is the price. Yeah, and especially if you also look at larger scale storage systems, you also come down with price. So you can reach really efficient prices, and especially in combination with PV and wind, you can compete against diesel gensets where you're at around 35 euro cents. Yeah, per kilowatt hour.
Okay, answered. Anybody else? Question? So I will take the opportunity to make a question. You are offering solutions. So I understand that you are maybe using different battery storage supplier systems depending on the projects. Can you reveal a little bit the type of batteries you are using in your projects?
Yeah. So for our projects, currently we're looking at lithium-ion battery storage systems. Different manufacturers, but you probably are aware of most of them, and they are all here on the fair. So the leader in cell productions are Samsung, LG Chem, and we are also using their technology. What we are let's say, in cooperation with a company who's also installing everything within a containerized system. So our idea is that we are modular and standardized. We use modular and standardized components so that if the T-factory is also further increasing, we can also put another container there and connect it to their system. So our idea is always to keep standardized and modularized systems to scale at the end for new opportunities.
Great. I would give again, there's another question. I will fastly come to you, far away.
Thank you. I'm from Nepal, and we are plan to implement some off-grid mini-grids. So what kind of size you need, a business volume, you need to come down to Nepal and do the mini-grids?
So
any your associate nearby us?
So for us, a microgrid would start with 1 megawatt. Then we would be happy. Yeah? If it's a size of 1 megawatt, then we typically use that and can size that. And with that size, we can also offer the best solutions with our expertise as engineers. For mini grids, where you go really low with a small battery and let's say 2 or 3 households or something like this wouldn't make sense for us.
No, 500 households.
500 households, what load?
It's around, let's say, 800 kilowatt hour per day.
800 kilowatt hour per day, okay. Yeah, so this is basically too small for the solutions that we can offer, but nevertheless, we have the contacts and the ideas to do this as well.
We have 50 to do in a year.
Okay, yeah, just let me know afterwards. Yeah.
Is it answered, your question? Yeah, great. Thank you. I would give a last question, if anybody wants to take one. Okay.
Hi, I was wondering, in the projects you do, is the microgrid control system or the SCADA also, do you also use vendors for it, or is it your own control solution?
So we have installed a local system at our office building where we also look at the energy management just to learn about it, so that we know what kind of issues, what kind of problems you have with different units that you want to connect, with the communication and so on and so on. So it's various in problems, and that made us decide that we are going to vendor energy management systems. Yeah, so for now, we're also using experts that are installing them in different projects, so that we can ensure that we can connect all of the different diesel gensets that are around the world.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Pereira. This was brief and really insightful. Thank you. Have a good day.